What's good? Welcome, Giga Gamers. Welcome to the Strat Chat. We got a Meta Wednesday on our hands. We've got the new patch. We're going to check it out. Let's see what's good. All right, patch 12.21 is going to be short and sweet. There's going to be a lot of preseason changes, so they're focusing on that, but they're going to hit the major outliers. We know from this chat that this was Blitzcrank and Bel'veth's time to shine, and those are the main two detractors on this patch. Cassante is going to be showing up. We're going to go over a in-depth review of this champion and what he can do. So check that out. Cassante's coming out, so we're going to do an in-depth review, go over his abilities and combos, so make sure to stay tuned for that. All right, Ari, Q mana decreased, AP ratio increased. This isn't going to affect her laning for the damage, but the mana cost will be nice. It'll be a little bit easier for her to push waves. Bel'veth getting a massive nerf, but she needed this. She was way better than the competition. People were getting better and better. You could see the ban rates just starting to climb in Diamond. The cooldown on the E is going up by 2 seconds, which is fairly massive. You're going to have to make more choices now in the jungle about whether or not to use it to clear or to save it for the fight. So basically, if you're going to do 2 camps, it's okay to use E on the first one, but you should not use it on the second one because you need to have it up. It also means that ability haste is going to be a little bit more valuable. That Black Cleaver build is going to be a lot stronger as it lets you get more reduction here. The Endless Banquet passive, the game-breaking part of Bel'veth, really, where you get the enhanced Void Coral from the Rift Herald. The minion's maximum health is getting nerfed by 10%. It's still fantastic. This should still be your number one way of ending games with Bel'veth, will be to go get that Rift Herald. Blitzcrank getting base stat nerfs because he was crushing it in bot lane. He's getting 4 magic nerf. Both of these don't really affect his jungle build so much. The 20 health is whatever, but the base magic resist does nothing. But the bonus attack speed on the W is getting hit, which actually makes it that much more important to level this spell. But 10% across the board is pretty massive. Corki is getting tiny little tweaks. He's still not competitive with other marksmen as far as end game scaling, but his scaling is just naturally very good anyways. This is going to put him back into relevancy. Corki was on our D tier, just unplayable stats wise, so this will bump him back up into playability. Malzahar's E can now execute minions. This is huge. The very best players and Malzahar one tricks were fairly competent at using E for last hits, but now they're adding an execute, so you're not going to get that feels bad situation where the E brings it down to 20 health and then your caster last hits it. It's now going to be a lot easier to get a lot of CS on Malzahar. I expect this to add 10 CS per game for most average Malzahar players, which is a pretty massive difference. It's just that much extra gold, an extra 200 gold to gain every single time, and occasionally it's also going to help you push the wave faster. I'm sorry, not occasionally. It just is going to push the wave faster. So this is a massive change for Malzahar. It's going to push him up into probably oppressive numbers. They're going to have to tune this. But basically, they've been adding this little tweak to every ability that might feel bad. They added it to Bami Cinder. So I think they're just recognizing that it's a pretty good change and they're going to use it a lot. This also, it says minions. I wonder if it's also going to hit monsters. We're going to have to test that out. But if it hits monsters, it's greatly amplifying Malzahar's clear speed. Misfortune. I hate these changes. They just constantly reference what they call a cross off ARAM and then off meta builds, but expect this to result in some troll Misfortune supports. The magic damage is gaining 20% AP. It's still bad. It's still one spell that they can just dash out of and come kill you after you cast it. The slow is going down, but up per 100 AP. That means you basically need 500 ability power before the slow is as good as it was. Basically, that means it's just not good. Bullet time is also gaining 5% AP ratio. Basically, they're trying to make it so that the AP builds are less grief, but there's going to be more people building it now, so it's more grief net. I don't like these changes at all. Ornn, apparently this is a change that has been active So it's not really actually changing the game at all. Xin Zhao getting some massive changes as well. This is another champion that was just stat busted down into D tier. The third hit bonus damage going up. That's great. 15% of your total AD is very nice. That's an extra like 30 or so damage in the mid game. And the heal is going up on the AP ratio. So maybe we see that Nashor's Tooth build come back. More importantly, the cooldown on Audacious Charge is going down by a second. This improves his clear speed. He can basically cast this on every wave. And the ability to make sure that he can get multiple dashes off in a fight. Game remake, not really important. Basically allowing you to get some remakes before 3 minutes. More event missions makes it so we're going to be able to get that 22 and 2000. And I believe the new shop should include the Prestige Cassante, so we should check that out. Bug fixes. A couple of these are potentially major. Clones are no longer going to take unreduced damage. This should mean that the turret heating up should also affect all the champions. So characters like Shaco won't be absurd at turret dives anymore. Fixed a bug where Syndra's E would not do damage to epic monsters. This wasn't coming up that much. The Syndra E could damage Gwen. This is actually a big difference. All right, so this is huge for the Gwen versus Syndra matchup. Fixed a bug where Viego could grab something in Syndra form. That's not going to come up very often. Neela's Q was actually misbehaving, so this change is potentially big. The Mordekaiser E sound effect, which made it sound like he was casting E and Q when he wasn't, is being fixed. This is a pretty major change in the highest levels, I believe. Fixed a bug where the adaptive force on Yuumi was not affecting them if they had certain debuffs like silence. It wasn't silencing the Yuumi. The Yuumi was supposed to still get the buff. So I don't know if we'll see many Sorakas into Yumi's in high ELO anymore. Fixed a bug where Rakan's RW was letting them cast. I think this was pretty niche. Fixed a bug where Darius's R would sometimes not reset its cooldown. I don't think this came up very often, but it might. It definitely happened in our game yesterday, so could be happening more than we know. Could be a buff to the Darius. And tooltips change, that doesn't really matter. We've got probably my favorite line of skins to ever come out is the Empyrean line. I think these things are going to be ridiculous. They're just... You know what they remind me of is the DJ Sona, especially the like concussive. But this whole theme feels like it's the DJ Sona. But here's the chromas that you can get. The Vex one I think is pretty hot. Empyrean Jin, completely new. Empyrean Pike is going to be awesome. Jax is a completely new look. Like, that is so sick. So I'm looking forward to all those things. But all in all, the huge change to Bel'veth is going to knock her back down out of that S tier. Udyr's still up there. Seraphina's still up there. So if you're looking to climb, look at those champions. Blitzcrank, Bel'veth, take him a peg down. Blitz is still going to be very strong in the bot lane, but you shouldn't see him winning at that 55% clip. And Bel'veth, she was at like 60% for people that play it. Don't tell anybody. She's still good. The kit is still busted. It's inherently great for ending games, which is something that your teammates need help with in your solo queue games. Just make sure you stay alive. Find a way to stay alive after you get the Mystic Remora buff. All right, so there we go. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, please consider liking and subscribing. It helps the channel out a lot. I'll catch you guys next time. Keep it surreal. Peace.